Okay, guys, so we're officially starting now. From this moment on, it's being recorded. And before we get to anything else, I just want to tell you that this webinar, this event, has been organized by the Weekly Fasting Group. And it's a very big international group of people on WhatsApp who cultivate this habit of abstaining from food for 1 day a week. 1 day a week, we don't eat, we fast. And this habit has proved itself to be a life-changing habit in terms of many, many areas in our lives. And if you are watching this webinar on YouTube and you are not a member of this group, and this idea appeals to you, then you will find below this video my WhatsApp number. My name is Arik. I am the moderator of this group. You are welcome to send me a WhatsApp message with your name, and I will happily add you. So that's Weekly Fasting Group. Now, today we have with us Gabriel Lesquoy from France. We're going to have a very special webinar, what it takes to live Pranic lifestyle. Very, very special knowledge, lots of wisdom. But before we actually get to the subject itself, Gabriel has prepared a little meditation, little guided meditation for all of us. And we will start with this meditation. So Gabriel, over to you. Please unmute yourself, Gabriel, because we cannot hear you. No, Gabriel, you have to unmute yourself.
Excuse me.
Yes. Now we can hear you. Okay.
Can everybody?
Okay, Gabriel, over to you, please.
Okay, so I cut my video. I switch off the video. Make yourself comfortable and put yourself at ease. Close your eyes and turn your gaze inward. Slow down, settle down. Invite the body to relax. At the heart of the lungs, heart and chest space, listen and feel the inhale and exhale. Listen and feel the inhale and exhale. Let yourself be inspired. Let yourself be breathed out. The face relaxes. The jaws relax. The whole body relaxes. Very simply, just breathe in, just breathe out, and let it go. Just breathe in. Just breathe out and let it go. Presence in consciousness in this space, heart, lungs, and chest. Let yourself be inspired. The shoulders rise. Let yourself breathe out. The space of the heart grows. Let yourself be inspired. The diaphragm pushes down. Let yourself breathe out. The space between shoulders and diaphragm grows. Let yourself be inspired. The vertebra grow backwards. Let yourself breathe out. The heart, lungs, and chest space grows. Let yourself be inspired. The sternum pushes forward. Let yourself breathe out. The space between the vertebra and the sternum is getting bigger and bigger. Let yourself be inspired. The ribs push towards the sides. Let yourself breathe out. The space of the heart is becoming bigger and bigger. At the heart of the heart, at the heart of the cells, of the whole body, space is increasingly bigger and bigger. At the heart of this space, listen to the silence. At the heart of this space, listen to the silence. At the heart of this space, touch the silence. At the heart of this space, taste the silence. At the heart of this space, become the silence. The silence of recklessness. The silence of well-being. At the heart of the silence, the presence. Surrender to the great presence. At the heart of the presence, fullness of emptiness. Fullness of emptiness. Just being there, here and now, there, with oneself, through oneself. Here and now, everywhere and nowhere at the same time. just to record this state of consciousness, the upper state of consciousness in every cell of the whole body. Slowly, when you decide, keeping the touch with this well-being, open the eyes.
Okay, guys. So we're getting back slowly, slowly. Okay. Thank you very much, Gabriel. That was great. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Okay. So now we will proceed to the webinar. The official name for the webinar was From Fasting Consciousness to Pranic Consciousness. And actually, before we enter into this subject, Gabriel, I would love to ask you, because some people from the group, they know you. They were actually excited that you are coming. But many people don't know you. So could you please tell us a little bit about your current lifestyle, about your history, of your spiritual search, of your pranic living, whatever feels right to you. Just please share the information for the people who don't know you, please.
So first of all, let me tell you that I'm very thrilled to be with you, and thank you for your invitation.
Our pleasure.
So my name is Gabriel. I'm living in France. I'm French. I'm a former nurse. I don't practice anymore. And for 8 years now, I'm in the field of health prevention and spirituality, meditation. And I discovered in 2011, 12, the pranic reality. And slowly, I went up to the point not to be able, not to have necessary to eat. So I can stay like this. And for 8 years now, I lead people, groups and individuals in pranic fasting sessions, between 7 to 21 days fasting. So I'm very very simple guy. According to what I live and what I discovered of my own understandings during these last years, just to tell you that it's very easy just to be here and now, and to be less in the mental. The less we are in the mental, the better we feel with ourselves, the better our health is also. But it's very simple for me. So I travel less now because of the COVID crisis, but my job is the job of the heart, to transmit people how to deal better with their own health, how to eat better, how to deal with the thoughts, with the emotions, and how to live a little bit more in the present time. That's it.
Very interesting. So how does your lifestyle today look like in terms of food intake? So do you eat, do you drink, or don't you eat anything? Don't you drink anything? How does it look like?
So I do not need to eat nor to drink. I like to drink hot tea, white tea. You know, the white tea, very plain, simple one. The white tea. I used to drink a lot of jasmine tea, therefore, but now it's over. I'm fed up of jasmine tea. But I like to drink hot water, not because I'm thirsty. I'm never thirsty, because I'm greedy. How do you say? Not greedy. How do you say?
Like have like what? Just want to just have not craving, but just have some kind of desire for that.
Because I like very much to drink white tea, to have hot water in my body. And concerning eating, I do not need to eat. I can stay like this without any food. And sometimes once in a while, because of the family, because birthday, because marriage, or I don't know, I can take half of a tomato, half of a carrot, I don't know, like this, and I feel free, which is the real definition of pranic state. The pranic state is not to eat during years and years. The real definition of the pranic state is to be able or not to eat during years and years, or to be able to eat once in a while because it's more social than something else. So it's like a motor of a car. Everybody knew from his birth that the cars drive with the gasoline, but we realized since with the quantum science that the body can also work with the pranic energy, with the quantic energy. Or you use the gasoline, which is to eat through the mouth, or you use the pranic energy, which goes through the skin without having to put any food in the mouth. So now, because you know this, you can stay years without eating. And also you can sometimes take anything because it's social, because it makes pleasure to the grandmother. She didn't see you for a long time. And also she lived the Holocaust during the Second World War. So it's very difficult for her not to eat because she's very stressed and she has so much pleasure to see you because you didn't went to visit her for months. And she's used to make your best pastry, so you will take not a full part, but a little part, just for the pleasure you can provide her, just like this. Feel free.
That's amazing, Gabriel. And in your case, what was the first? Was the spiritual search first in your case, and then gradually it led you to this pranic lifestyle, or first you were interested in the idea of pranic living and it led you to do spiritual search?
In 2011, one of my friends spoke to me about the video program called Light, recorded by a Czech guy. He introduces the pranic reality, and he told me, you should watch this program. Did you know that you can stay without eating all your life if you want? And I said, no, it's rubbish like this. It's stupid. I threw it away. I didn't want to acknowledge this reality. But this was my reaction, my initially speaking reaction. And then with the weeks and the months, I got interested. I had some questions in my mind, and I made some research on internet. Then I started to say, okay, I will become pranic, because I used to practice, I used to give energetic healing to heal people with my hands for a long time. And I said, if the prana can heal people, prana can make me not to have to eat anymore. I will make this experience too. That was the conscious motivation. And there was also an unconscious reality during a dream. I had a dream, like like you know who told this also. I had a dream during one night. I used to live in a region in France called Alsace, near Strasbourg, the northeast of Strasbourg, and I used to live with the French lady from Alsace. And in Alsace, they eat a lot of choucroute. Choucroute, this is cabbage, white cabbage. Mm-hmm. And during one night, I made this dream that I was somebody, a guy was following me with a knife. He wanted to kill me. Then I was rushing, I was running. And suddenly I stopped to face to him. Then my fear went to him. I wasn't afraid anymore. Suddenly he was afraid and he was down on the floor with a big belly to protect like this, and a guide from the astral field. I won't say an angel, no, just a guide. He showed me, you know, what in Japan samurai they hold the katana.
The sword.
Like a sword, a big sword, and he told me, just kill him. I said, no, I'm not a murderer. He told me, yes, you have to kill him. So with the sword, I opened the belly, the big belly, which opened it opened, and from the belly, the choucroute, white cabbage, went out. Mm. It means that I killed the link with the food in reality.
Wow.
It started like this. So I made several astral initiations like this, and I started to eat less. I went from 3 meals a day to 1 meal a day. And during 2012 and 2013, I realized 4 sessions of fasting with prana, Pranic fastings. And now I'm in front of you.
That is amazing, Gabriel, amazing story. And tell me, so before that video of this Czech guy, did you do any kind of particular spiritual work on yourself, like meditations? You mentioned that you had some healing powers, but in addition to that, meditations, visiting spiritual teachers, reading spiritual literature, etc.
I always felt close to the Tibetan community. I met the Dalai Lama several times. I went into the Himalayas, into India several times. I went to Bhutan in 2013. Except to meditate, no special practice. Mm-hmm. I used to eat like everybody. I'm a very ordinary person. So
yeah, so before watching that particular video, your diet was like a regular French diet, you might say, including meat, including like everything, or you experimented with veganism, raw foodism, and things like that? I'm talking prior, like before you got interested in pranic living.
I used to eat like anybody else. I used to drink like anybody else, except that I very, very young, at 14 years old, when I was teenager, I stopped drinking coffee because I never liked coffee. Mm-hmm. And what else? I used to drink Coca-Cola.
Okay.
So I wasn't a good example for people, but because I became a nurse and I quit this job to stop curing people with the classical hospital ways, to become a specialist of the prevention, how to educate people to take care better of their own health. Mm-hmm. Health, prana, spirituality goes together. The pranic questions is also a question of health, to be in a better health with one's own body, mind, thought, emotion, and also maybe a spiritual way, with this particularity that the best way to develop spirituality is not to look after spirituality. The best spirituality is to live at the present. And it's the best way to awake from the big sleeping of the humanity. The best way to awake is to develop the consciousness. But the best consciousness, the first step, the basis of the best consciousness ever, is to develop the consciousness of the body. We can be a very high in the spirituality, but we have to be anchored, feet on the ground. It's very important. And the more we are aware of the body consciousness, the more we will develop consciousness. And the reality of the pranic field, the pranic reality, is only a question of listening the body when we eat, to listen the body when we eat, and to be the more possible from the morning to the evening in touch with the body, to be aware of the body, to feel the body, and to listen and to respect the body.
Wow, that is amazing. We are going to cover it in details very, very soon. But I just have another question about yourself. So about getting to this pranic state. So did you do all this process of becoming a pranic person alone, like by yourself, or you got any kind of guidance through retreats, through pranic processes, through working with different pranic teachers, etc.?
I had 4 big pranic fasting sessions during 2012 and 13, and the first one was led by the French famous, maybe the most famous French pranic guy, who is Henri Montfort. Henri Montfort is more or less 70 years old now, and was in residential session with him. I followed him for 10 days, then I quit and I came back home. I started to eat again, and then I kept on fasting 1 day a week, and then I realized a 10 days fasting in October 2012, 14 days in December of the same year. But I had lost 20 kilos. I went from 80 to 60 kilos. Then I was too thin, very too thin. You could watch my ribs, and I decided to eat again. And I went to travel to visit in Bhutan during 21 days in July 13. And when I came back to France, I started again fasting with the prana, and then slowly it happened like this. But I understood since that the best way to become pranic is not to have this desire to become pranic, because in reality everybody is already pranic. Everybody is already pranic. This is the quantum science which tells it. Everything in the universe is energy. This body is 99.9% energetic. So the best way to become pranic is to become aware, to increase the consciousness of mind and to open the heart. It goes together, mind and the heart.
Mm-hmm. And also you mentioned being aware of the body constantly.
Not consciously, but
no, I'm saying constantly, like all the time.
Yes, that's the ideal. That's the ideal, to be in contact with the body whatever we may do, we walk, we work, we speak, everything you do, you write, to be in conscious contact with the body, to remind that we are here, that we are doing this or this or this. Just to listen to the breathing, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. This is very powerful to become more conscious.
Yes, and you are saying that this ability directly affects our ability to live pranic lifestyle.
Can you repeat, please?
No, I'm saying that this awareness of the body is related to our ability to live without food, to live pranic lifestyle.
Yes, yes, completely. Because in fact, the less we are in the past or in the future, the more we stay in the present, like natural meditation. Natural meditation, no need to sit like this, like Buddha, to meditate hours and hours. If you are conscious when you wash the dishes, when you work, when you drive, everything from the morning to the evening, the more you are the present, the more the brain creates an electromagnetic field energy, which is the real energy, which is the energy of life, which is the prana. And like this, the body is more and more fed of this energy created by the brain, because you stay at the present. There is prana everywhere, but the body is also prana. And the neurosciences, they proved that there are also neurons in the heart. And when you are, when you feel, when you are in a particular state of well-being here and now, when you feel good with yourself, the heart creates an energy which is very good for the immunity, and which is also the real food for the body. And the more you live at the present, the less you are stressed, the less you will spend energy, lose energy, the more you create energy, and the less hungry you will become. So you will eat less and less and less and less. Mahomet, the founder of Islamic religion, he was said to eat only 3, comment on dit date, Luc, en anglais? Dates?
Yeah, probably like that in French, that.
Yeah, that he used to eat,
yeah, it's dates.
Only 3 dates or 3 dates per day. It's impossible to live only with 3 dates a day, except if you are pranic.
Wow, you're talking about Muhammad, yeah?
Muhammad, yes.
Wow, amazing. And now Gabriel Svetlana is asking here on the chat, what exercises will you recommend to develop awareness? What was your favorite exercise?
My favorite exercise is the one I proposed you this evening as an introduction. This meditation called opening the heart meditation, opening the heart, opening the heart, opening the heart. Because the humans, most of the time, have the heart closed. You know, the conditional love, which is not the real love is unconditional love. And the more we open the heart, the more we will open from the mind, and the more the consciousness can go out like this and be present. So just very simple, or you practice once a day, every morning before to start your day, this opening heart meditation, or you can also listen the breathe in, breathe out, just to listen the breathe in, breathe out, to put the conscious not here, which is thinking with the mental, which is the lower consciousness, but to put the consciousness here at the level of the heart, and to feel that you always breathe. breathe in, breathe out. Whatever you do from the morning to the evening. Very simple is the best.
Wonderful. Gabriel, so maybe we will ask people will open up to the questions if people have any questions up to that point. But I just wanted to clarify something. You mentioned a few times that you were fasting with the prana. Now, what does it mean to you? Like, because you said that you had this period of eating and then you went back to fasting with the prana. What does it mean exactly?
I used to eat like everybody, therefore 3 meals a day. Then I realized in theory the pranic reality through internet. I subscribed to a pranic session in July 2012 with Henri Montfort. I started to eat less, from 3 to 2 to 2 to 1, from 2 to 1 meal a day. I followed his session during 10 days. Then I quit because I was supposed to follow during 21 days. And I quit at a half of this session. I was lost in my mind. Then I went back to home. I started again to eat. Then I realized from this moment, I was always alone through this pranic adventure, which is the adventure of life. The pranic adventure is not to fast during 21 days, then after you're pranic and after. No, the pranic reality is the adventure of the whole life in reality. And I ate again from August to the end of September. In October, I realized another pranic session fasting, another pranic fasting during 10 days. Then I ate again from end of the October to December. In December, I realized a third pranic fasting session alone during 14 days.
Gabriel, but I'm sorry, when you say pranic fasting session, what does it mean for you? And what is the difference between that and regular fasting that people do for 1 week, for 2 weeks? Like, what is a pranic fasting session? That was my original question, actually.
So the fasting, classical fasting, is just not to eat. You just stay without eating during 1 day, 2 or 3 days. That's it. Mm-hmm. You can always practice some relaxing practices to feel good, to have some rest, to have some work. Okay. Then the difference with the pranic fasting is during you don't eat, you will be fed by the energetic, universal energetic energy of life, which is the prana. How? In meditating, yoga, tai chi, relaxation, etc., which is easier to follow a fasting session with the energy of life. The body will be less tired because you put energy in the tank of the car.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Gabriel, so did you develop this protocol by yourself, like how to fast with the prana, or you took it from any other source?
My own reference, my own reference. I don't know if it's okay. Reference.
Yeah. My own reference. Yeah.
My own reference is Henri Montfort, and after Henri Montfort, from July 2012, I developed my own practices because for me, the pranic procedure, classically speaking, is 21 days. During these days, you do not eat, you drink to hydrate the body and to help the toxins to eliminate with the urine. Then you will practice the pranic feeding through meditations, pranic meditation. And in order to feed the cells of the body, which is very important. So the fasting is easier. Also, in order to align the four bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels, to align, to unify body and soul. It's the same. And at the same time, the pranic meditations, they will help people not to stay at the beta alpha state, which is the mental state, which prevents most of the time people to increase their level of energy because of the mental, because the mental doesn't unify. The mental is always limiting most of the time. So your level of energy goes down instead of going up. Then the purpose of the pranic meditation is also to synchronize the two brains, left, mental, rational, and right, which is the intuitive consciousness. So the pranic fasting has three I don't know, three specificities is to feed the cells, the organs, the body, is to align the four levels of the person, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and to synchronize in the alpha state of mind, the two brains, which is the condition of happiness, the condition of happiness, the well-being increased up to the level of happiness is just to be here and now, consciousness aware, which corresponds to the Tibetan monks to the alpha state.
Wow.
The beta state.
Very, very interesting. Now, we have another question from Amit on the chat. He says, for Gabriel, I've heard that prana can be seen. Is it true? Can prana be seen?
Yes, I realize maybe there are some people who can speak or understand French language. So in my channel, YouTube channel, I realized this video called "How to See the Prana Particles in the Sky." So you can watch easily the pranic particles in the sky or in a wall with only one color of the wall. You look at the roof of the wall or the sky, cloudy or blue sky, and you don't try to see anything. You see as if you were thinking at something else. Then you will suddenly or slowly, with a little bit of exercise, you will see very, very small particles of light, sparkling particles of life, and they goes everywhere like this. If you move your eyes, they don't follow you. They stay like this. If they follow your side, it means that they are not pranic particles of life. It means that this is just dust which is in your eye, particles of dust in your eye, which is not prana. It's quite easy to see the prana. You know, when the more you fast, the more you increase the acid-base balance with the body, the more you clean the organs of sense, like the sight, touching, hearing, smelling, tasting, and the more also you will develop the subtle organs of sense, which are clairvoyance, clear hearing, clear smelling, and the more you will see easily the aura of people, prana in the sky, and many other things which realizes your life very beautiful because of
that is fascinating. Guys, so do you have any questions for Gabriel up to this point? If you do, please unmute yourself and ask. And if not, we'll just proceed with the webinar. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. Hi, Gabriel. Hi, Arik.
Hello.
Hello, Luc. Luc is a friend.
Ah,
Yes,
very good.
I'm a friend of Gabriel. I like him very much. He's doing beautiful job.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
but my question is more to you, Arik, because when you spoke at the beginning, you told us that you were fasting 1 day a week with the group.
Yeah, that's what we are doing. Yeah, we are about 300 people from all over the world, and many of us just cultivate this habit. Yeah, fasting
Yes.
once. Yeah, in fact, right now it's our weekly fast because it's between Friday and Saturday.
But I wanted to know, how do you choose the day you are going to fast in the week?
In our, it's very simple. In our group, we have a standard time. We are starting to fast at 12 at noon UK time, like London time on Friday, and we just go on together for 24 hours.
Always, every week, the same day?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Otherwise, we'll just get lost. We also have members who add to that some other days, but our standard official fast is 24 hours, like from Friday noon UK time up
Yes.
to Saturday noon UK time. That's it. Very simple.
Okay. Great. Thank you. If I can say a few words about Gabriel, because I'm very happy to have met Gabriel a few years ago.
Sure.
I met him through the internet first. First, I went to some session in Belgium from a lady who stopped drinking and having food for a few years.
What's her name?
Dominique Verga.
Yeah, yeah. She's pretty
She
well
was
known.
completely without water, without anything for several years, and I was a little bit. I knew it was possible to stop eating, but I didn't know it was possible to stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, I became interested in looking, and then I came Gabriel across, and I went to him, and I had a really beautiful experience, a really kind of mental insight when I was facing Gabriel. And I think he has felt it, and he offered me his book. It's French
Wow.
book
Amazing.
about prana. It's very good book, because he shows us to make the difference between fasting and pranic food.
Yeah.
That we learn to be. We don't have to stop, like he said. Now we don't have to stop eating. We have to learn how do we eat and what we are eating, and what is doing food with us. And
Uh-huh.
that is beautifully explained in his book.
Okay.
It's only in French. I'm sorry. So
Yeah, hopefully it will be translated one day into English. Yeah.
okay, maybe. I just want to say a little thing more about Gabriel, because I like very much his work.
Yeah.
When I went to him several times, and last time not last time, a few 2 years ago, when I went to him, he was there with his girlfriend, and he was very much busy with work. And so he told us, yes, I still have so much work. Please go with my girlfriend and have a big walk in the area,
Yeah.
and I will make dinner for you, for the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a little bit surprised that he will be cooking for us. And we went 2 hours in the countryside with his girlfriend. And when we came back, there was a beautiful table with salad, with crunch, really fruits and many different things. And he put 2 plates for us, and he stayed again next to us, and it was really great meal. And he took only a leaf of salad, really a small leaf of salad, but nothing else. And it was really for his girlfriend and me a really beautiful meal. And
Wow. Wow.
he took the time, even if he had so much work, he took the time to make the dishes, to make everything clear, ready when we came back.
Yeah,
So
just pure service, pure love. Wow. It's
yes, it
amazing.
was really a beautiful supper with salad and many other things, and I enjoyed the meal very well.
Wow. Amazing.
So
Thank you for the best advertising he makes for me.
Gabriel,
thank you, Arik, for organizing this. It's very a good session. I'm very happy to be with all of you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my pleasure, you know, it's my pleasure. I enjoy those sessions so much. Thank you. And I enjoy so much having all of you guys here. You're amazing. Just everyone is amazing. Gabriel, so I wanted to ask you in relation to what your friend said, because in the fasting group, we have quite a lot of people who on the fasting days have to cook for their families, prepare food, get in touch with food, you know, and sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes it creates some difficulty. So in terms of keeping balanced mental attitude for this particular mother who needs to cook for her family and she wants to fast, what kind of advice could you give her or him, whatever?
Well, when you fast and at the same time, because it's the day of fasting, you have to cook for the family, you have no choice, you have to fast, you have to cook, of course, then there is a time for everything. At the first time when you feel it's not easy at all not to eat because it's your fasting day and you have to cook, so you deal with this, you manage somehow as you can, of course. Then, well, maybe the question through your question is how to manage with the desire of eating when you're supposed to fast. Maybe this is the real question, no?
Yeah, you might say it like that. Yeah.
So there is this advice which is very simple, which is, you know, we have three brains. We have in front the brain of thinking, the cortex brain. At the middle, we have the emotions brain, and behind we have the survival reptilian brain.
Right.
So when you fast and you have to cook, because you cook, you have desire to, you'd like to eat, but you can because you fast. What you can do is you're thinking about the mashed potatoes or the ice cream or the piece of bread or the piece of meat. I don't know. You'd like to eat, just to take it like children they do. They take with the hand like this. Imagine in imagination, they take the food and they give to it to the survival mind behind.
Wow.
The reptilian mind, which is supposed to be more quiet after this, and let you quiet for a while before maybe it comes back the desire to eat. But when you practice preparing a meal and you are aware, you feel you smell you smell, you hear, you touch, you see the food, but without any identification. No identification, just being present, to smell, to hear, to watch, to touch. Then you prepare. In reality, you are already nourished, fed, because of the consciousness of preparing the meal with consciousness.
Wow.
You want to eat when you fast, maybe because you fast too much and the body becomes weak. So you have to listen to the body. Maybe also because the food is an emotional crutch. You have to make a little bit of therapy to solve this emotional crutch. Otherwise, it will remain difficult. So the more you are present, the more you create the energy of consciousness, and the less you will be disturbed by watching food when you fast. And when you fast, if you can practice meditation to develop the consciousness of being here and now, it will be better, because the less you will have the desire to eat when you fast.
Yeah. Gabriel, and this exercise of feeding the reptilian brain, do you actually do this with your physical hand, like you imagine the food here and then you actually move the head, move your hand behind your head and you feed it, or you just do everything in your imagination?
Like the children, you can take the hand and you imagine this is a slice of bread. Then you put a slice of bread with the imagination, with the empty hand. You put the slice of bread behind. So, okay, and you speak to him like a child. Okay, survival brain. So take food, yum yum. You can eat. I give you to, but with the strong energy of intention. You believe what you do with in a real intention, and then it will work. What you can also do is to imagine that with your two hands, you will take the universal energy of life, which is prana. You take prana and you throw in the other hand to make a pranic bowl.
Yes.
Pranic ball. Then you realize a pranic ball. A pranic ice cream. This is a pranic ice cream. Intention. And you imagine this energy is love, is security, is being recognized by the mother, by anybody you want. And you imagine that you eat this energy.
Wow.
Eat this energy. If you drink some water, some herbal tea, when you fast, you can imagine the glass is full of this energy of life. You imagine, because to imagine is to create, and to create this real energy in the parallel dimensions. The parallel dimension, you create, thinking creates energy, and the energy follows the thoughts. So imagine your glass full of this energy, then the level of vibration of this water will increase. Then you do not drink anymore only water, but also prana, which is the real nourishment for the body, because body is mind densified. The body is mind densified. So you give energy, spirit, mind, consciousness to it, to the body. It will work. Slowly to slowly.
Wow, that is so inspiring. Yeah, so valuable information, Gabriel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really valuable, really important to for each one of us to hear that. Okay, guys. So please ask questions if you have any.
Hello, this
Hello.
is Aranka. A big fan of Gabriel. I watched all his 600 plus videos on YouTube. It's a great French lesson for me. I put it on 75% speed so I can actually understand his French. Can you hear me, Arik?
Yeah. We can hear you very well.
Oh, okay. So I'm really a big fan of his. He's very calm, and I absolutely adore my time with him. He doesn't know that. He's got secret admirers. And his work is very important because he doesn't teach magic and mystic. He just very practical. I guess Gabriel had a really nice time with the Buddhist people in Nepal or somewhere, or Bhutan. I forgot where he was. And from there, he just kind of, showers us with that. I really enjoy his videos. That's all I wanted to say. I really don't have any question because his videos are so extensive. If you want to get a good education on this, you start back in 2014 or something, 15, when he started putting out the videos, and just watched one by one. Thank you, Gabriel, very much.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, cool. Okay, Gabriel, now we have another question on the chat. How important is it to you to be connected in a social kind of way? Do you spend much time alone? And how important is connecting to nature to you? So basically it has two parts. It has this social aspect and a connection to nature. So could you please extend on those subjects?
The more things go, with months and years after years after years after years, my dream is to keep on living no more in the west part of the world, in France, but in the Himalayas. I wish I could live now in the Himalayas because this is probably a past life that is speaking now through my my mouth. But I love more and more silence, being in silence. And also I love to see people. I love to watch people eating in the restaurants, in the streets, because I love to see people having some fun, even if it's not really conscious. But I love to see people having some fun, pleasure with eating. It's not because I'm frustrated, not at all, but I love to watch people like this. And I also practice table tennis. I practice table tennis, so I love to practice sport. And one or two times a week, I practice table tennis in a sport club. Besides, my friend Luc from Belgium, he's a very strong table tennis player. He didn't tell you, but I can tell you. We already play together. Then I love silence. I love to stay alone. I loved always to have a candle the day, during the night, because this is the only real necessary food that every human being needs, which is the food of light, and the light of consciousness, and the light of
right, so true.
This is the real food that everybody needs in reality. And as regards the COVID crisis, for me, the solution is no more to be vaccinated, is no more to wear a mask. Of course, if necessary, people, they will get the vaccination if necessary, because they prefer to get the vaccination instead of losing their job, of course. And if necessary, to protect from the old people by wearing a mask, of course. But the solution of the COVID crisis is only one: to develop consciousness and to open the heart, which is the real solution.
Right.
Because you increase the level, the level of your own vibration, and illness cannot touch you anymore. Sadness, the contrary of happiness, which is
like a depression, sadness, like depression, bad mood, you could say, you know.
So mentally speaking, it's already a good beginning. The more you open the heart, the more you open the mind, the more consciousness is present, the less the mental is trying to disturb you.
Right.
The happier you will become, because you realize that there is not you here and the tree here. You are the tree. There is no you here and the cloud there. You become the cloud, you become the tree, you become the dog and the cat. You and I, we are the same. You know, the former Aztec Maya from South American continent, they used to say, when I cross you in the street, they used to say in Lakesh. In Lakesh is like aloha. Aloha for Tahiti, aloha is not good morning. Aloha means I love you. I love. It means je t'aime.
Wow.
Then in Lakesh means I am you and you are me. You and I, we are the same.
Yeah.
We are the same frequency of consciousness. we come from the same paradise, which is here and now.
Wow.
The personal needs, the needs of the ego, the needs of the body are very, very, very few, because you already have everything. So
Right.
life becomes very simple after that. You need very few things, and the Buddhist religion, Buddhist philosophy, the Buddhist hygiene of life taught us that so many things around us is illusion. There is only thing which is not illusion, which is consciousness. To be aware when you eat, whatever you eat, because generally speaking, the humans in the west part of the world, they eat too much, too often, and too badly. And the purpose to fast is to be closer to the real needs of the body, to eat less in quantity, maybe, but to eat more in quality, to respect the needs of the body. Called health, the health of the body and the health of the mind and the emotions. And the more you are aligned through the body, mental and emotional level, the more the consciousness can express itself.
Yes.
It's very simple in reality.
Yes, Gabriel, thank you so much. We have another question. Gabriel, in your opinion, does the body produce all the necessary elements by itself, or depends on consuming prana from outside?
Well, there is a scientific measure which is called the Schumann's resonance. And the Schumann's resonance measures the electromagnetic field of the planet Earth. This electromagnetic resonance is increasing years after years, and now it is at about 13 hertz, which is the level of the alpha state of the brains. And if you read the Veda scriptures, the Vedic scriptures of the Hinduism, Veda and Shastra scriptures, it is written that in the universe, like in the planet Earth, everything is energy. So if everything is energy, prana, it means that potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium, I don't know in English, the nutrients that we need to sustain the body and to stay alive. It means that if you receive the energy from the source, the quantic field, which is the source of every kind of manifestation on the earth, like the apple, like the orange, like a banana, I don't know, it means that you will be fed. And the only problem in this is the mental. The mental doesn't believe this, or the mental is fascinated by the pranic question, and he decided to become pranic. But the more you want to become pranic, the less it works. So it's a very delicate question today in 2021, because almost nobody knows the pranic reality. Almost nobody knows. You know, in the planet, on the earth, there is maybe between 30,000 to 50,000 to 150,000 people pranic. It's very, very, very few, and at the same time, it's a lot. But there will be more and more spontaneously pranic people on the earth, because the electromagnetic vibration of the earth increases. So spontaneously, we are all concerned by eating less in quantity, because the awareness is more and more present, so which is the real food for the body and for the holistic human that we are. It's just a question of evolution.
Yes, yes. Okay, Lily, so please see if Gabriel answered your question. If not, you are welcome to unmute. And because I think in your question, there is another aspect, Gabriel. So I think that what Lily meant by asking this question is whether we, in order to live pranic lifestyle, whether we need to kind of consume prana from the external source, or our body is like some kind of pranic generator, so we don't need to consume prana from the external source, because that's how I understand her question.
The more you move, the more you spend energy, like every motor, like the motor of the car. Then the more you spend energy, the more you need to catch this energy from food, conventional food, or from the source, from the quantic field, to keep your energetic balance like this, not like this, or like this, but like this.
Okay.
You may need. We cannot live without sun. If sun disappears, nothing can stay alive on the earth. Humans, animals, vegetation, etc. Then there is the energy external to us, and there is also the energy internal to us, inside us, outside and inside. And both are important. So when you spend energy, the body creates its own energy by being present, or you take energy from resting to sleep during a whole night on the bed. This is a way to have energy, or you practice special pranic meditations, like the Tibetan monks. They practice this. Then they can stay in good conditions and good health without having to eat so much. Or if you are aligned, if you are pranic, in theory, you have nothing else to do in particular to be fed, because you are aligned mentally, emotionally speaking, and you are connected. Then the body will take its own energy in the quantum field. In theory, you have nothing else to do for this, in theory.
May I just ask?
Yeah, sure.
Let's say you are on a spaceship outside of solar system.
Okay.
Then how the body will get energy, how the body will function, or where will it get it from?
In a space shuttle?
Yes, in a spaceship outside of solar system.
So I don't know, because I didn't realize this experience yet. So I cannot answer you, to be honest. Then the aeronautic research in 1969, they had to work on this question, because the first people who used to go into space with the space research, whoever they were, American or Russian, after the first, my English is difficult. After the first launches in the space, they used to come back on the Earth, but with less thinner, because they had lost some muscles, and they couldn't stay too long in the space, because it could become dangerous. Then the Russian space research paid so much money to find the best solution to be able to go during months and months in the space and to protect the health, which was luminotherapy. Luminotherapy is what they found, and luminotherapy is very close to the pranic, the pranic reality. It's difficult to speak about this because I didn't realize this experience, and also just remember that the pranic reality is not officially n'est pas recherché.
It hasn't been researched.
Officially speaking, except in secret by the NASA, American NASA, and by the army. In secret, they are very interested by the pranic research, by the pranic reality, and they invest themselves in pranic research. But officially speaking, among the public, there is no research. So the best thing is to make this experience to fast once a week and to live at the present time the most possible. And then slowly you will contact the pranic reality as a consequence and not as a purpose. You know, once I was coming back, driving my car, driving back home. I had given a pranic conference in the south of France, and I picked up a Belgian lady called, I don't know anymore, or I don't know. And she told me, what are you doing in life? And I answered her, I just gave a pranic conference in Bordeaux or Toulouse, I don't remember in France the town. And she asked me, what is pranic, prana, pranic, what is this? And I explained her, and she answered me, so maybe this is what I realized as an experience several years ago. What happened to you? I asked her. She answered me, when I was 23 years old, I walked the Saint-Jacques de Compostelle, which is 1,000 kilometers walking. And she was thinking many things during the day. She was wearing a backpack and walking during 30 kilometers every day. She had to think so many things, but with the following days and weeks of walking, she had less and less things to think. And naturally, she was more and more the present time. But at the same time, she realized that she was eating less and less. Wow. And I made her to repeat 3 times to be sure she was saying correctly. She told me during the last weeks of walking in the Saint-Jacques de Compostelle from France to Spain, she was only eating per day, only per day, 1 carrot, 1 apple, and 1 quantity like this of dried fruits, apple and apple every day, no more.
Wow.
During these last weeks of eating only this, without being tired of walking 30 kilometers a day, she stayed 3 days without eating anything and keep on walking 30 kilometers a day and without being tired. She was full of energy. She asked me, was it this, the prana? I answered her, yes. Probably you were contacting the pranic reality.
Yeah, Gabriel, so in your opinion, in her case, in the case of that woman, what caused her to contact this pranic state?
Having less and less thoughts, being less and less in the mental, and being more and more in the present, which was for her the natural meditation of walking in meditation, walking in consciousness, empty mind, full of energy. You know the Afghanese walking. You know this Afghanese walking.
Mm-hmm.
How to explain that this man can walk during 700 kilometers during 12 days, more or less 70 kilometers a day. Of course, they eat maybe 2 times a day, I don't know. But after 700 kilometers, 60 kilometers every day, they are not tired, because when they were walking, they were breathing in consciousness.
Wow.
That's the secret.
Gabriel, but I thought maybe you meant someone else, but I don't know about who is this person. Is it like a person or a group of people?
No, business people to make business across the mountain, or maybe military soldiers, maybe also.
Okay, in Afghanistan. Okay, very interesting.
You can make a little research maybe tomorrow about the Afghanese walking. It's famous. You can walk, you can check on YouTube, you will find some videos.
Very interesting. Okay, Cicely, Cicely is one of the members. She raised her hand. She wanted probably to ask something. Do you still want to ask something, Cicely?
Yeah, I apologize. I'm driving. So what happened was I dropped out. Thank you, Arik, for acknowledging that. I'm so very grateful to be in this webinar. Gabriel, your loving, kind nature and supportive, practical nature is very refreshing. And I really appreciate this. But my question was, when you have to travel, what method do you give for having to travel on planes or whatever? What kind of suggestion can you give? I like what you said about if you've got to take the vaccine for your job, fine. If you've got to protect elderly, fine. Do what is necessary for whatever fits in your lifestyle. But I just want to know in regards to what method can you give me in regards to traveling, especially long hauls, like 10, 12 hours on an airplane. What's the best way one can protect themselves from things that are floating around?
To protect oneself from the microbes during
yeah, whatever viruses, whatever that's flying around. How do you protect yourself from those little things?
Okay, so probably the best way to protect from the microbes is to stop being afraid of the microbes.
Right, I'm not.
Afraid, because the more you're afraid, the more you will absorb, contact, attract microbes, which is not good. Which is good identification. The more you are identified to the then possible danger of being sick, the more easier you will become sick. That's the first point. And then the second point is not to fight against the possibility of being sick and to fight against the microbes, but to be open-minded and to be opened to receive the microbes.
Okay, so don't fight it. That's interesting, because I heard something very, very close to what you're saying early on when this whole thing started. It was a young lady, she was American living in China, and she said, listen, it doesn't want to kill you, it just wants to live in you. It doesn't want to hurt you. It just wants to live inside of you.
Stop being afraid, to love the microbes. It's okay. And then to reinforce your own immunity, which is your own aura. How? To improve, to increase your general level of vibration, because through your own hygiene of life. Hygiene of life is to eat well, to sleep well, to drink well, to fast well. Fasting is very important to wash the body, to clean the body, and to increase the level of the body. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Those are things that I am actually working very hard on. So I just wanted a confirmation in regards to what I'm doing And so, yeah, just have to live with it. There's no need to fight it. Don't fight against anything, whatever it is. Don't fight against it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't, just keep your vibrations high. That's it.
You know, this is the power of mind. This is the power of the intention. If you start to feel like coughing, throat ache, because winter, because of the cold, if you identify to, oh, okay, now I'm going to be sick. Oh, it's too late. Oh, you will become sick. Then if you start to feel the throat ache and coughing and you say, no, I won't be sick. I'm in a perfect health. I will take just a glass of hot water, some honey, some lemons, natural lemon juice, and ginger slices like this, which is the Tibetan Himalayan recipe, natural medicine to clean the throat. Yes, the throat. Then it will be okay. And if you really become sick, of course, don't prevent yourself of going to the doctor, to see the doctor. Sometimes doctors are useful. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Good. Thank you so much. Gabriel, we have another question about breathing. So this question has few parts. So she says, hi, have you tried Buteyko breathing? That's the first part. Buteyko breathing.
I did not understand.
There was a Russian scientist called, his family name was Buteyko. He developed particular system of breathing. And so she's asking if you tried Buteyko breathing. Buteyko breathing. You don't know what's that?
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Then she's asking, how long would you be able to hold your breath after an exhale? Exhale when you breathe out. How long can you hold your breath?
Can I keep the apnea?
Probably, yeah. Then it's maybe you could just unmute yourself and ask this question.
After breathing out, how long I can stay with
yeah, because there are some pranic teachers who actually say that when you are in the high pranic state, you can hold your breath very, very long. Like your breath becomes much slower, you know?
Yes, because you make your own metabolism lower, then you can breathe this also, or staying without breathing for a certain time. But I didn't try. I don't know really this. I didn't study, but I wish I could study all the science of you know, the Hollandese guy with the Iceman, you know?
Yeah, Wim Hof.
Hi, Gabriel. Hi, and Arik. Thank you very much for pondering on my question. Yes, this guy, the Hof method, he's in a way like a follower to Buteyko to a certain degree. My question continues because, you know, if a person can hold his breath or their breath for 3, 4, 5 minutes, that suggests that the body's blood is alkaline and therefore they have achieved the purity of their body. Usually that will suggest that they have achieved a certain spiritual enlightenment of a degree, and hence the reason why. And my question continues, so would you say that you're still detoxing from obstructions while living on prana?
Well, I didn't study this. I don't practice this. I cannot answer you correctly. I don't know.
Well, it's not. The question is actually, Buteyko is more like as a method of, let's say, as like a test, so to speak, like a assessment of the body detoxification. So my actually question is, would you say that you're still detoxifying from obstructions, whatever that means with you, whether you do enemas, if that is necessary anymore, whether, you know, sometimes even if, let's say, a whiff of food passes your nose and you might actually salivate, you know, that kind of thing. So would you say that you're still detoxing from your life, you know, of living in your human body for so many years before you became, or, you know, kind of converted to pranic living? So what would you say was the transition in detoxification for you, or whether you're still in that process of detoxifying?
Your question, to be sure of your question is, as being pranic, do I still detoxify, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the specialists of fasting, usually they say it's a minimum of 21 days of fasting if you want to detoxify the body, which is less and less true because of the heavy metals, because of the, I don't know, nanoparticles.
Yep.
Yes, which is less and less true. Anyway, being pranic means that you detoxified enough to make enough space so the light can come from the inside, and so you are fed by the light at the condition that, of course, you are aligned, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and that you are synchronized with the two brains. So, but even pranic, you keep on detoxifying, because everybody have toxins from the fetal period. You know, when we were during
in the womb.
in the womb, and also we have toxins which are called cell memories from the past lives.
Yes, yes.
We also have toxins which are called cell memories, coming from the beliefs transmitted by mother, father, uncle,
ancestors.
You know. Then the detoxification is more and more subtle, deeper. And sometimes, even pranic, sometimes you have to be aware, because you may fall down after having a big desire, a big hunger of cookie. I give this example. Suddenly you have a great hunger for cookie. You are pranic, but you want cookie. What's this? What's this mess? The reality is the detoxification keeps on being in your body, in your psychological field, in your own memories. Then suddenly, sometimes cell memory can awake and rise up to the consciousness, and or to the mental level. And then if you are identified, you will eat the cookie, and probably, or maybe you will lose the pranic state if you eat and eat and eat and eat. If you cannot stop eating after this cookie, you will lose this pranic state, which is not a problem. The problem is just to be aware and to be happy in his own life.
Gabriel, but for example, if this desire comes from the cell memories, so the best way is just to observe it and let it go without identification.
Yes, just to observe the cookie and without any identification, and to remember that the observer is not the desire of the cookie.
Right.
If you forget yourself as the observer, it's as if you become the cookie, and then through the identification, there is only one way after this, is to eat the cookie.
Right. So this, I think this ability of not identifying ourselves with our thoughts, with our emotions, it has to be practiced. So those practices such as Vipassana meditation or other practices that are related to observation, pure observation, are super important.
Yes, definitely, because the pranic process, which allows you to become pranic and to stay pranic without having any need of eating to stay alive, is above all mainly the process of, well, of course, the detoxification, but the process of detoxification by fasting or by pranic fasting is the process of this identification.
Wow.
The more you disidentify, the more you will awake and become aware. Awake.
Yeah, exactly. And this ability can be developed, this ability to observe without identifying. But some effort is needed here. And also I remember this also in terms of those cravings. You also taught us this method of feeding the reptilian brain, which probably also can be applied here.
It's much better to feel than to think. It's okay to think when you need to calculate something because you need to know how many liters to put in of gasoline to put in the tank, or how many kilos of painting to buy to paint the house, of course. But the less you think, the better it is, because it's much better for the general health of the being to feel than to think.
Yes, yes. Okay, Gabriel, now we have another interesting question. Does one lose interest in sex? Because probably they mean in the pranic state. Does one lose interest in sex because semen losing, like when you lose semen, right? You know, semen means energy lost. Is it true? They ask.
Well, I realized in my French YouTube channel 4 or 5 videos about sexuality. When you, it's a question of evolution. The more solid you eat, the more heavy you are in the body and in the mind. And the more the sexuality is ordinary, like everybody, or almost everybody. The more high-level food you take, the more you manage with strong intelligence, thoughts and emotions, the more you increase your general vibration level, the more you like to be in the nature, not to be in the town, to be in the silence, in the nature, with the animals, with the trees, etc., etc. And the more, because of this evolution, your sexuality should evolve also. Less quantity, more quality. More quality. And at the same time, one day, you finish by realizing that the sexual energy is sacred. And because it is sacred, it is very important to keep this energy, not to lose it. When you are not aware, you do like everybody. When you become aware, you realize that everything, like mosquito is sacred. You cannot kill any more mosquitoes. And by the way, when you become pranic, mosquitoes don't bite you anymore. And instead of mosquitoes, you attract butterflies. They come on you.
Wow.
To speak to you, to say, hey, hello, etc. Like in the movie Avatar. You have the sparkling, very lighting butterflies. They come on you. This is reality. Then your sexuality evolves naturally, and you will be less in quantity, classical, looking after the classical orgasm, and you will more looking after a quality level of sexuality, not looking as much as before after the classical orgasm, but looking after the mind orgasm or heart orgasm, less interested by the classical physical orgasm, which is, it's also an illusion, because after the orgasm, what is it? Nothing more.
Yeah.
more. Then if you preserve and if you increase your sexual energy, you will be fed by this energy. And at the same time, you feed the body cells of this energy. At the same time, you feed the consciousness of this energy. Because for the Veda scriptures in India, Freud called the sexual energy, he called it libido. I don't know in English, libido. Then,
Yeah, like sexual desire, libido.
so for the Vedic scriptures, prana is the same energy, prana, in the atmosphere than prana, that sexual energy in your body.
Mm.
And prana becomes ojas. Ojas, which is the Sanskrit term, means libido. And ojas is prana, is the same. Prana, ojas, consciousness. So,
wow.
and a good way to transform the sexual desire, the sexual basic energy, and to improve your general state of mind, to improve the level of consciousness, and to become the alchemist of your own health and well-being and happiness in your life. A good way of doing this is, as an example, to practice every day pranayama. You practice pranayama every day, 15 minutes. It's good for the health, for the vitality, and to transform your own relation to the sexuality.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful.
You know already all of this. You know this.
Wow. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. Okay, Gabriel. Now another Svetlana is saying, famous yogi Milarepa stayed on nettles for several years. Nettles is a kind of a plant.
Okay.
It's a plant that stings you, you know, like where you touch it and then it stings you. Nettle. So she says he stayed on nettles for several years. Why did he do so? He didn't need to eat or drink at all. One needs to be in samadhi to cut attachments to material world. What's your opinion? Thanks.
Well, I can only make some supposition, which was maybe to become the master of his body, the master of his own desires, to kill the desires. I don't know. Know.
Okay, yeah, we can only speculate. We don't really know. Okay, and then Desiree is asking, what's your opinion on urine therapy?
Urine therapy, I do not practice. Then what I think is it's a very good natural process to take care of his own health through urinotherapy. If you practice, not everybody like to practice this, but if you like, why not? Then if you want to keep on practicing urinotherapy while you're fasting, maybe the urine is becoming too much strong, then difficult to drink. Then respect the body. If the body doesn't like when you fast, maybe you can stop practicing this for 1, 2, 3 days. I don't know, as you feel the thing, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay, wonderful. And then Amit is asking for Gabriel, have you attained spiritual enlightenment? Interesting question. Have you attained spiritual enlightenment?
No. I'm an ordinary person like you. I'm just a little bit in front, forward, maybe. I don't know. But I don't want to believe I'm somebody better than anything else, than anybody else. I'm like you, I'm like you, you're like me. You are already pranic, but you don't know it yet. You are already pranic. You are already aware, but you don't know yet. You are already alchemist, shamanic. You are all. We are all everything, but we are disconnected by too much mental lives. That's
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then we have another question from Revital. Hey, hi, Gabriel. How many hours do you sleep at night? How many did you used to sleep in the past? Okay, I will read you the whole question. The Russian people that don't eat, drink, or sleep say that sleeping is like dying and shortens your life. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, before prana, I used to sleep between 6 to 8 hours a night with 3 meals a day. Now, today, I sleep at around 3 to 5 hours a night, 3-4 hours a night, which is somehow half of what I used to sleep before. Then what I think about the Russian belief about sleeping, which could be dying. Well, I always thought that sleeping is losing time. Sleeping is losing time, though. So the less we sleep, the better it is. At the only condition that we are not more tired, of course. But you know, mainly people sleep because they eat. The more they eat, the more they sleep, because the body uses so much energy to digest. Then the less you eat, the less you digest, the more energy you keep, the less you will have to sleep. And also the other reason for which people sleep are the not enough efficient managing of the emotions. Eating and emotions make people sleep too much.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so does anyone else have any more questions for Gabriel? You can just unmute yourself and ask.
Hi, Gabriel. It's me again. I'm sorry, Revito. Sorry.
Hello.
I just asked a question in the chat. I'm just going to read it out quickly. Okay. How should we bring up our children? Ways of their life, eat, not eat, sleep, not sleep. Because as we grown-ups, we're trying to clear our own obstructions. So what kind of tips can you give us of how we should approach teaching our kids the ways of life?
So very in short terms, please, can you repeat your question?
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'll simplify. We as grown-ups are learning the ways of prana and clearing up the past, obstructions, cellular memory from our ancestors. What about our children, our young kids that just been born, they're babies, they're young kids, they're learning the new way of living. So what are the tips for the kids, well, for us as parents, to teach our kids the new way of living?
Concerning eating?
Concerning eating, sleeping, I suppose, because they also carry, I suppose, ancestral baggage in their cells. So how can we approach that with them?
To remember that a sick child doesn't eat anymore, like wild animals. Wild animals and children, when they are sick, they do not eat anymore to help body to recover by itself, naturally speaking. So just to remember this and to trust them about this. Also to remember that it's not good habits for the parents to give industrial sugar to the children. It's not good habits for the children because of the parents. Then parents should privilege fruits and vegetables to give to the children, to keep the good habit of cultivating the acid-base balance even with the children. Then to remember also that the children very easily use food as an emotional crutch, which means that we should learn the children to manage with their own emotions. The more they manage correctly their emotions, the less they will have to compensate with industrial sugar like this. And to teach the parents to manage their own fears concerning their children. So to help the children to live according to what they feel instead of living according to what they think, and to use the food as a crutch. Very often the children are they receive the fear of the parents, then they feel afraid, then they will eat because they feel afraid, which becomes a crutch, etc., etc. I think children, when they were born, everybody was, naturally speaking, pranic as soon as they were born. At the first minute, second they were born, they were pranic. Then the pediatric doctor, the parents believe children, babies have to drink milk. Okay, because this is the rational logics. Okay, biological logics. Okay, but there is also the quantum logics based on the quantum reality of the body, which is not only biological. The body is also quantum.
Wow.
Then we shouldn't force the children to eat this and this and this and this all the time at each meal. We should transmit to the children the freedom of eating only when they feel, when they are really hungry, because they respect their body, they are listening and feeling the I'm tired with the English. Well,
you can say in French, maybe I will understand it.
Anyway, consider the children like adults, and always to give the possibility to the children to choose. As soon as we impose to the children anything, it's not the same as if children had the choice of this and this, etc., etc.
Yeah, so important, very important.
I'm not a specialist of the children question, but very often the parents transmit their own fears, which doesn't help the children. Remember that the first basic needs of every children is security, love, being recognized. Security, loved, and to be recognized. If they don't feel security, they will feel abandoned, and then they will feel the fear of being abandoned. And it's very easy to develop the emotional crutch through food, which is not to eat when we are hungry. The pranic process is the process of the whole life, and I often say that the pranic process is the process for handicapped adults. We are all handicapped adults because we are disconnected to the body in consciousness. We manage most of the time not very efficiently with the thoughts and emotions, and we eat too much, too often, too badly, because we started to eat too much, too often and too badly when we were young. Very often we started like this. We started. So I don't know if I answered correctly to the lady.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. I already knew what you said.
You knew already this.
But I just wanted to hear confirmation from somebody else.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, guys, Ravital, you wanted to ask something.
Yes.
Please do.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Here I can see you.
Hi, Gabriel.
Hi.
You started saying something about sleeping and emotions. And I also feel that it's got to do with sleeping sometimes. It's got to do with sort of running away from mental tiredness or something. So could you please talk about it?
What about the mental tiredness? Huh?
Yeah, you said something about people, emotions and sleeping, that it's related, that people sleep because of emotions, you started saying. And could you?
Because when we don't manage correctly the emotions like sadness, fearness, angriness, we spend a lot of energy, which is stress, which is called stress. Instead of this, when we manage correctly, efficiently the emotions, whatever they may be, we don't spend anymore so much energy. And instead of this, we create the energy of being present. And the more we are present, the more we will become aware, and the more the emotions become friends to us. We are always used to put aside the emotions and putting on the emotion something not to feel again, like an anesthetic. Anesthetize the emotions.
Yeah. To numb them, to suppress them. Yeah.
To suppress them, to forget them, not to feel them again. If you're sad, just feeling the sadness without thinking, without the identification of the mental, which is worse after this, because you can create a depression with the mental. If you do, Ramana Maharshi and the other masters of India, they always said, mental creates depression. You kill the mental, you put the mental aside, and just you feel what you feel in your body: angriness, sadness, fearness, happiness, joy, culpability, shame, whatever. You feel. There is no more problem.
Right.
It's like this. Then Dominique Verga, the Belgian Pranic lady, became Pranic. It's like this.
Wow.
She was dying in a hospital because of workaholism in her job. She was suffering from burnout. She was
worn out.
So, and then she didn't resist to this. She felt the body, she felt the emotions, she felt the tiredness. And then she heard a voice telling her, now you don't have to eat anymore, to take the food through the perfusion, the medical perfusion. You can stop this. And she stopped this, and she became pranic like this. She became pranic like this. It doesn't mean you have to do the same, because sometimes, very often, people, they will die. They won't survive. They will die because it's not so easy. But just watching, hearing, feeling, respecting more, the more possible, our own body, which is the key of everything. Without the identification, it's important to think, but it's also important to feel, not only to think, to think.
Amazing.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I mean, people die during because of starvation, of famine. So how, I mean, is because they're not aware of this potential, this possibility. It's because they haven't worked, they're not aware, they haven't managed their feelings. Is that it? I mean,
a long time ago, I used to work a short period of time in Sudan, in south of Sudan, and I could watch people dying from starvation. They were very
Thin.
skeletic, very thin. And then the answer is very easy. If they don't know the existence of prana, they can't work the pranic meditation and cultivating the awareness of being present, which is the real food. So now there are some people that teaches that they teach in Black Africa the pranic reality. Jasmine Herrera, she's from Colombia. Jasmine Herrera, she's pranic, I think, and she teach in Black Africa how to live with the prana when you suffer from starvation.
Wow.
very interesting.
Yeah.
You know Jasmine, the Australian lady.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. She's doing great work. Yeah, great job all over the world.
A long time ago, she was in the United Nations in New York, and she wanted to speak about at the whole assembly. She wanted to speak about the possibility to fight against the starvation in Black Africa with the prana. And she told her, now you shut up and you get away. You get out, stop. That's the reality of this world.
Yeah. Okay, Gabriel. So, guys, so we are.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, we are beyond 2 hours now, so we're going to finish soon to wrap it up. Gabriel, I just wanted to ask, because we have few members who have diabetes, and you and in your conversation in the group, you told someone that you have particular insights or knowledge about diabetes that you could share. So could you please address the subject of diabetes?
How do you say the organ specialized with the insulin? It is called the pancreas?
Yeah, pancreas. Yeah, pancreas.
Well, I had the experience of guiding a young man of 23 years old. He was diabetic, suffering from diabetes, and forced to get insulin injection two times a day. He was a real diabetic man. And he fasted during 14 days in residential session, pranic fasting session here in France. I was with him day and night. There were several persons on stage on this training, pranic fasting session, and he never swooned. He never fainted. He never had any problem because of not eating during 14 days, but every day he had the insulin injection. How come? Well, generally the humans, they don't eat correctly, they eat too badly, and they make the pancreas too heavy and tired of filtering the food and the blood. So the more you give the acid-based food, fruits and vegetables to the body, the more, naturally speaking, the body will detoxify, naturally speaking, with the red vegetables. It's the best food to naturally detoxify the cells and the organs and the body. So the more you detoxify the body and the pancreas, the more the pancreas might work better, and the less you will need the same dose of insulin. This guy, he made 7 days of pranic fasting session in 2014, and the next year he came back and he realized 2 weeks, 14 days without eating anything. He was just drinking water. And when he came back in 15, he told me, because of the last year with the 7 days of week of fasting, he told me, my doctor told me I was crazy not eating because I'm diabetic. And at the same time, he told me he doesn't understand because now I need half of this insulin. He used to take fast and slow different insulins, and now it takes less, half less of this insulin. Means he is recovering in a better health because of fasting, because of prana, because of fruits and vegetables, and because he stopped eating pizza, meat, Coca-Cola, cheese, industrial sweets, etc.
Yeah. And Gabriel, do you know by chance what kind of diabetes he had? Like diabetes type 1, type 2?
The one kind.
Like why for the first, like the one?
Diabetes 1. Then there was also a special possibility as being diabetic, which is an emotional trauma. If you register in your cells an emotional trauma, as an example, after an assault in the street, you can become diabetic, which means that you have to solve, to digest the emotional trauma, and maybe after you can recover a full health. No more diabetes. This is possible.
Wow, very interesting, very interesting. And you know, you just mentioned eating fruit, but then you said that they were acid based, but are they acid or alkaline? Because
half. Industrial food is transformed food, which is mainly acid, too much acid for the body. An acid body makes the bed of illness. The more acid you are, the more sick or ill you can become easily.
Yeah.
More tired, more sick, and live less long. Live short and short and short. Die soon. Then the more acid base you are, your body is, the more in good health you will become, and the more present you will become, because the emotions and thinking is directly according to what you eat. The more you eat acid and industrial, the more you will have thoughts and
Gabriel, but maybe you meant alkaline because you said acid base, but there is acid and there is alkaline.
Yeah,
so
alkaline, it's the same. Acid base is acid alkaline, it's the same.
Okay.
Acido-basic, which is acid base, acid alkaline, is the same.
Okay. And basically the main source of alkaline foods are fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables, naturally speaking, from your garden, from the shop, from the natural shop, you know, the organic shops.
The organic, yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, guys, so before we wrap it up, do you have any more questions? Any last few questions maybe for Gabriel? If not, then...
Hi, Arik, it's Poggy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, hi. Okay, sorry, I just have one question. Hi, Gabriel. Thank you so much. It's been really fantastic talk. I wanted to ask how Gabriel felt about the importance of being in touch with nature, and also how he perceived being social and the importance of being social versus being on your own, and how does this relate to being pranic?
Okay. Uh,
The question?
yeah, Gabriel. So she's asking, could you please tell us more about, on the one hand, connection to nature, the importance of connecting to nature and being in nature, and on the other hand, about being social, about being with other people. Just your thoughts about it.
The most important, I think, is to remember not to be dualistic. Dualistic is, on the left side there are good things, on the right side there are bad things. So everybody knows, everybody believes, because it's a good belief, that being on touch, on the contact to the nature is a good thing, of course. But the social, the town, the noise, the pollution, the cars, everything is prana. So the mental divides everything. It's cold or it's hot. You're thin or you are obese. You are kind or you are naughty. This is the mental. Then with the consciousness, everything is prana, everything is unity, not duality. Then there is also prana in the town, not only in the countryside, in the forest, by the seashore. Then the connection to the nature or to the social field, to the town, is always a connection of the consciousness of being here and now, and to be arms open with the noise, with the pollution, with what you cannot avoid. It's always good to go for walking in the nature, to have holidays in the nature. Of course, it's always good, but most of the humans, they live in the town and among the social field. So connection is a question of being here and now, because prana is not only what you eat or don't eat. Prana is an opening of your inside in unity with the outside, that makes you realize that the prana is also through the noise. When you hear the klaxon of the car, or the songs of the birds, you can hear the energy of life, which is prana, in the songs of the bird. When you stroke the cat, the dog, what you feel with the hand, you will feel that you receive the energy of life through the dog, through the cat. When you hear some music, when you are listening some music, you will clearly, one day or another day, you will clearly realize that the energy of life transmitted through the music goes in your arm, in your body, inside. You receive always, all the time, you always receive all the time from everything, energy of life. Whatever you are, wherever you are, in the nature, in the town. I don't know if it was the question, but this is the pranic reality, which is the reality of the consciousness.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's really helpful. I think I asked the question because I think for me, sometimes I feel concerned that I'm not being social enough, because I naturally find myself on my own a lot of the time with nature, and sometimes I feel worried that I need to be more social, basically.
Now it seems to concern the field of the neurosis. You know, neurosis, neurosis.
Yes.
Neurosis.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called like this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Some people like to be in contact with many people. They said to be oral from orality. And some other people, they don't like to be in contact with too many people, and they also, some of them, they will also have the tendency to cut from people, which is called in neurosis the I don't remember. It's not so important. Schizoid neurosis. Schizoid. I don't know schizoid. I don't know.
Like schizophrenic, from
Like-
schizophrenic.
Like schizophrenia. Schizoid means you cut from others. Oral means you like to have people around you. Then the question of prana is to equilibrate this, not to cut too much from the others, not to be too much with the others, and to be good, in good condition with yourself. So if you are alone, it's okay. If there are some people with you, it's okay too. Well, it's difficult in English for me.
No, it's absolutely clear. It's absolutely clear, Gabriel. You express yourself very well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's very clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah, sorry.
Could
Yeah.
I just ask something? Gabriel, have you developed any abilities which you never had before, like extrasensoric?
It's a very good question. I already told you that when you detoxify the body by fasting, by meditating, by living in the present, by eating acid, alkaline food, you clean also the subtle organs, organs of senses, clairvoyance, etc., etc. So, yes, you never know who will and who will not develop some extra sense organ, but for me, it's not like before. I had always heard about guides, guides, they come to visit you during the night when you sleep, but I had never seen them before. Since the prana in my life, I see them, I communicate with them, not during all the nights, but I'm more conscious now, so I can see them easier than before. Also, I used to practice the energetic healing with my hands for more than 20 years. And since prana is in my life, I increased the power of healing with my hands. So it's much more efficient. I go very, very far with people, deep in the cell memories to identify the emotional problem or the organic problem. And it's much more efficient than before, etc., etc. There are also the intuitions. There are the ability to communicate through telepathy. Sometimes it happened to me. And you have also the synchronicity. Synchronicity, you realize that you create the synchronicities. It's not coincidences. They are synchronicities. Then after all of this, more and more, your life become a playground in which you learn to play with life, with everything, and it's more and more fun. Life is more and more funny. Life is more and more happiness.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, Gabriel, so towards the end now, please tell us about your work with people, because it might be that some of our group members or some of the viewers of this video will be willing to contact you, to get some help from you. So please tell us, how do you work? Do you work with groups? Do you work with individuals? Do you work face-to-face? Do you work online? Like whatever it means to you.
So for 8 years now, since 2014, I lead groups in residential pranic fasting sessions during 14 days. People choose until 14 days. And I also accompany individuals through Skype or through Zoom from all over the world in French or in English. Sessions during 7, 14, or 21 days. During this time, people don't eat. They will hydrate to prevent to lose too much weight, because if you don't drink, you will lose 6 times more weight than if you drink water or herbal tea. And during this fasting, I propose several times a day, every day, between 2 to 4 times a day, pranic meditations in order to nourish the cells. So the fasting is easier, less detoxification symptoms. It's easier for the person. I propose pranic meditations to nourish the cells of the persons, to teach them to align body and mind, physical, mental, emotional levels. So when you are aligned, you reach the spiritual field easier. And the third main direction of my accompanying is to synchronize the levels in the state of alpha, in the alpha state mind. Then we check every 7 days. The person is realizing 21 days of fasting. We check together every week, every 7 days, day 7, day 14, and day 21. How is it? How is for him? Of course, day after day, but also at the end of each week, to know how he's behaving, how is his tire, etc., etc. And sometimes I ask people to stop because it's too much for them and they want to force. So I say, no, okay, now we stop, it's enough. And keep on fast 1 day a week. It's very important. I always give the advice to people as a preparation before to be followed by me, before to be accompanied, guided by me, to fast once a week. This is very important, and to eat more fruits and vegetables. It's very important. Then I always repeat all the time that the purpose of the pranic process is not to fast in order to become pranic. Everybody is always pranic, but to be more aware and to open more the heart for better health, for better well-being of our own neurosis, and for more happiness of just being here and now, alive and aware. That's it.
Amazing. Gabriel, and please tell me, so if a person wants to do this pranic process with you online, yeah, because right now, as we all know, there are some restrictions for traveling. So do they need to do it in the retreat setting, or do they need to disconnect for this time from their families, their jobs, their responsibilities, or not necessarily?
Of course, somebody who wants to fast for 1, 2, or 3 weeks has really to stop working, because it's too many risks of being exhausted and to have an accident and to kill himself with the car. So it may become very easily dangerous to fast and to keep on working. Now, I advise people to stay on holiday at home, to keep quiet, to have some rest, to have some a daily walking is good for the mind, is good for the detoxification, and to have pleasure, to have fun at home, to meditate, to practice yoga, to practice Tai Chi, to listen meditating music or classical music or whatever it makes sounds. It makes sound for the person, and that is good for her because she likes. So So what else?
Okay, that was my question. Yeah, and so and then you have residential retreats. But what does it mean? Does it mean that you go at a place, you rent a place, and then people go there and they sleep there and they do all those meditations? What does it mean?
Exactly. I hired houses in Quebec, in Morocco, in Romania, in Corsica, whatever, I don't know, in France, all over France. So people can come and stay there, then sleep there, and 4 times a day I practice pranic meditations for them, and we practice together Tai Chi, yoga, relaxation. I help them as a coach, mental coach, to manage in better with the thoughts and emotions. So people stay there and they try not to take the car to drive because it may be dangerous. They have some rest and they are in a retreat. The retreat means that you cut moment for a moment with the society to turn your sight into yourself, into your inside, to visit your own castle, to visit the castle and to clean the castle.
Okay. And during all this time, they remain on liquids, as I understood,
Yes,
like
yes,
water and herbal teas, yeah?
Yes, you can practice as you do the dry fasting. It's very nice, but always for a short period of time, because if you stay 1 week without drinking water, you will lose weight 6 times more. 6 times more. You can stay 21 days without drinking. It's impossible.
Okay, Gabriel. Yeah. So and then there is a schedule of your retreats. Say, like where can people find it?
On the website www.pranainspire.com. I'm realizing just now, translating my French pranic meditations in English, then they will be on the website. And keep you informed, probably in one or 2 weeks, then you will be able to get them, the pranic meditations, as a personal training at home while you fast. Because there is the Medical University of Brasilia in Brazil in 2012, a scientific study realized that they proved that while you fast, if you practice the pranic meditation during 20 minutes per day, you improve your immunity, your health, and you help the body to fight more efficiently against the microbes. It's very good for the immunity. It's very good for COVID.
Amazing. Gabriel, and also I wanted to ask, in addition to those pranic processes, are you still practicing something like energy healing, like long distance energy healing, or psychological support for people who are not necessarily interested in pranic living for now?
As a therapist, I accompany people who ask me for a psychological support to help them to manage more efficiently thoughts and emotions, or to access easier to a project, to realize easier a project, an objective, a project.
Like their goal, their goal in life.
Yes, to realize the goals easier. Yes.
Okay, good. Gabriel, and what would be the best way to contact you if someone is interested?
The email address. You will transmit to WhatsApp.
Yes, we will just put it. Below the video. We'll just put it below the video.
Yes, this is API contact 13 at gmail.com. Well, you will write.
Yes. You will all find it below this video, and yeah, you're welcome to contact
Mm.
Gabriel and you know, utilize his services. Absolutely. Okay, dear Gabriel. So it was really, really eye-opening webinar. Thank you so much. I just have no words for the expressing the appreciation. You know, it is just mind-blowing. You know, just so kind of you to have agreed to come to us and to share your wisdom.
I
Thank
was
you so much.
I was so thrilled this evening to share this time, these 2 hours with you and your group. It was fantastic, and I'm always surprised in admiration, like the children with the modern technology, to be able to communicate like this with all over the world. It's fantastic, and we can do very good things like this. So it was very nice for me, and I'm very grateful to you, Arik, and to your group. Thanks
so much
for all the questions.
Thank you so much. Yes, we have amazing people, and actually, you know, we might get in touch, and we might decide to have another webinar
Why not?
in the future. Yeah. Meanwhile,
Yes, we have more questions, please.
yeah. So we will absolutely, we'll talk about it. So meanwhile, people will submit more questions, and then a few weeks from now we can have another webinar, of course, if you agree, Gabriel, and then we will answer questions. Maybe we will talk more about the meaning of pranic process, because people have all sorts of ideas about it. So maybe we could clarify these things, you know, and many other subjects as well.
This information for everybody. If you go in my channel on YouTube, you click the playlist, and you will find the playlist called English. There are maybe 10 or 15 videos. Then you will have more informations like this, and there are 1 or 2 practices like this evening, the pranic meditation. You will find some good things in my YouTube channel in the playlist English.
Yeah. And if you know French, then you are lucky. Then you have how many videos do you have on the channel? Like a lot.
515 maybe.
Wow. And each video is a pearl. It's like a jewel, like treasure.
Thank you to everybody. It was very nice for me. I feel grateful. It's very nice. And you do a very good job, Arik. It's very important. You also help the world to awake. It's very important.
Thank you so much. Yes, Gabriel, that's the idea. And that's actually one of the subjects that I would like us to discuss next time, because, you know, this current situation is pretty much troublesome. You know, like lots of people get worried, upset. They want to improve the situation on different levels, on their personal level, on the level of society, but they don't know how to do that. So maybe next time when we meet, we could discuss what would be the best way for us as light workers, you know, because we are workers of light. What to do, how to help the situation, how to help stabilize the situation in the world, how to improve it.
Fasting is a very good way to help the world to increase to a way, because fasting we clean and we improve the level of vibration of the person. So the energy that travels like this, we help the world like this. Just to remember that some people said, I don't say it, but some people said, fasting leads you halfway to the paradise. Pranic consciousness leads you in front of the doors of the paradise.
Wow.
So pranic consciousness, pranic fasting is the step after fasting.
Wow, that is amazing. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Okay, so what is the next step? How do you enter the paradise?
Okay, we will talk about it. We really need to finish right now. We'll talk about it, Gabriel. So just remember. Okay, Gabriel, you want to just answer in one sentence?
I can answer. It's a very good question, very intelligent question. I had in one of my French conferences. It was in Belgium. And there was a police woman, a woman from police. She was there, and she asked me the same question. It was 4 years ago, and I answered her. Next step for me is to have no more need to come back to the earth. You know, the samsara, the cycle of reincarnations. My purpose is not to have any more to come back here. And meanwhile, my purpose is to help people to manage in better conditions their own health and to try to be a more happier by being more here and now present, maybe more awake.
Wow.
That's
Thank you so much, Gabriel. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you, like in the last few hours, you have helped lots of people, I'm sure, and this video is going to help to many more people. So thank you so much.
Thanks to everybody.